ever edition of Footy Face Off, and whoever agreed, I can't really see with these on, whoever agreed to give me all these props, the gavel, the podium, this is a little dangerous. We are going to compare two players on the debate stage, and we're going to settle that debate right here, right now. Who is the better attacking midfielder? Manchester United's Bruno Fernandes or Arsenal's Martin Ødegaard? So, Michael Lahoud, you are making the case today for Bruno Fernandes, and Julia Lanning-Baba, you will be making the case for Martin Ødegaard. You have 20 seconds to make your point.
Thank you.
And no more than that. You got it?
Yeah,
or else you're going to hear a little this.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Yeah, we can
I like that.
Judge Julia.
Yes, I chose to let you finish speaking while he interrupted you, so please, Lahoud, if you will.
Oh, man, lawyers get paid to interrupt, and I'm going to lay the law down for this guy in Bruno Fernandes. So Bruno Fernandes, when it comes to goal contributions, that's what we're going to talk about first.
Yes, correct.
There is
goal
no conversation. That fella Martin Ødegaard there, he's got almost 4 times the amount of goals in just the Premier League alone. And then in all competitions, we're talking about double the assists, in the Premier League. In all competitions and goal contributions, this is a guy, Bruno Fernandes, that in the last, say, month and a half to 2 months, he has been exceptional, and he has been a force to be reckoned with. Martin Ødegaard, yes, he's elegant. He can create chances. He's almost like he walks on water. But this guy right here, he is Manchester United Football Club. Without him, especially without his presence in the final third, I cringe to think where the club would be and where Ruben Amorim would be. But Bruno Fernandes, he is an attacking force, the better player by far.
Are we giving him more than 20 seconds? I'm just saying that was beautiful, but I felt like we gave you a nice amount of time there. So let's make sure that, I'm just going to use this gun. Julia, we give Julia the same amount of time.
How about we make sure that we
friend.
stick to the rules?
Leather folder, nice touch.
So when we are talking about Bruno Fernandes being Manchester United, what does that even mean? Is that something that you would want to be proud of at this moment in time? Well, I would prefer to walk on water. How many people follow somebody who has done that in the past? When you look at Martin Ødegaard and you're talking about goal contributions, you have to consider the style of play. Manchester United, I don't know what their style of play is. But when you look at Arsenal, I know exactly what their style of play is, and they rely on wing progressions to score goals. You have Bukayo Saka, who leads the team in 7 crosses per game. That's 3rd in the Prem, and that's where a lot of the assists come from. But when you talk about passes into the final third, very few, if any, players in the Prem that do that better than Martin Ødegaard. So before you can get to where you score your goals, it has to come through Martin Ødegaard. And last point here is that he does it against teams that really count. Scoring goals against City, getting assists against Tottenham, making sure that he elevates his team up the table, one thing that Bruno Fernandes cannot say.
Wow, you guys, I don't even need this thing. Forget it. All right. I don't know. 2 good arguments. Next up, leadership. Leadership. This is exactly where I appreciate you for delivering me, Your Honor. What we are going to talk about here is being of the highest order of character. That is what any captain is tasked. And especially if you want to be one of the best attacking midfielders in the Prem and you are the captain, is it possible to be an outstanding leader but also lead the Premiership in red cards? I don't think that that is something that somebody would also say is synonymous with an excellent leader. Martin Ødegaard is not only a player that every single thing, like I said, that Arsenal does flows through, he also makes sure that their standards stay very high in terms of etiquette, making sure that they are the team that, you know, are always competing for titles in recent days. And the last thing that I'll say about leadership as far as Martin Ødegaard is concerned, he has been the captain for the 3 best seasons that Arsenal has ever had since the Invincibles.
Yeah, we talk about competing for titles. They haven't won anything under Martin Ødegaard as captain. So the title conversation is squashed. When I think of leadership, you talk about red cards. So is Roy Keane a bad leader because of his red cards? Roy Keane is arguably the greatest captain to ever grace the Premier League. Yes, red cards, they've been an issue for Bruno, but that ship has come and sailed. This is a guy, when you look at his attributes, match winner, goal scorer, assist getter, leader. We call him Captain Fantastic because psychologically, he's had to weather some really, really brutal storms at this football club. Think of how many managers in just the last 3 seasons alone he's had to put up with. He's had to come in and come out of. And still leading this club to how many trophies, Jaleel, in that time? Is it 2? Martin Ødegaard, how many trophies did he win as a captain? 0. And we get to goal contributions. And I go back to that. This guy's outperformed Martin Ødegaard in terms of goals every single season.
Can we
please? He's been captain. Leader and goal scorer.
I gave you a lot of extra time. A lot of extra time.
Can we please make sure that we stick to the rules here? That seems to be something that your captain struggles with very, very much.
Hey, he's got trophies in his bag.
Finally, what is asked of them in their system? So who is executing better, Michael?
It's got to be Bruno Fernandes.
Why?
Martin Ødegaard isn't asked to defend in the same way that Bruno has. Martin Ødegaard is not asked to do half of what Bruno Fernandes has to do. So I'm going to drop a little nugget on you. When we talk about this 3-4-3 formation with Manchester United and Ruben Amorim, Bruno Fernandes, I said that his best position was going to be as a box-to-box midfielder, not as one of the front 3 or one of the wide forwards. Now, in this position, right now, since he's started playing there, Bruno Fernandes is 3rd in terms of ball recoveries in the Premier League. You would never even believe that or guess that. He is putting in a shift on both sides of the ball, and we have not just Ruben Amorim, we have so many people in the Premier League saying if Manchester United and other teams had more Brunos, then your stock as a club would be that much better. This is a guy that's a complete midfielder, and in my opinion, right now, he's outperforming every other midfielder, including Martin Ødegaard, in the Premier League.
So we're going back to the start, Your Honor. We're going back to the fact that Martin Ødegaard is definitely, without a shadow of a doubt, more important and a higher performer in the Prem, not only for what he does with his club, but also how he leads them as well. You said that Bruno Fernandes is Manchester United. Again, I don't even know what that means. Ask your fans. They don't know what that means. They're looking at a situation here where the club is in disarray. What the role of a captain is to maximize winning. Since Martin Ødegaard has been the captain, there has been no team that has gotten more points in the Premiership than Arsenal. And that is a pure effect of the captain. A team is reflected in their winning or the lack thereof, aka Man United, by their captain. If your team is not winning, it is always a question of the leaders. You're always under question, what is the coach doing? What is the leadership council doing? What are the people that are really in charge in the locker room doing? So, if your club is in disarray, you have to look at your captain. When your club is balling out, you also have to look at your captain. That's exactly why Martin Ødegaard has outperformed Bruno Fernandes.
Order in the court. It's time for this one to be decided officially and forever. We're going to end the conversation here today. Jaleel, you get major points for the respect that you showed the judge here today. That's not helping. You get major points for the respect that you showed Judge Jill here today. But I have to say, the historical references brought about by Michael Lahoud, citing Rory Keane, captain, is the little bit nugget that put me over the edge today. Because you had me on that red card.
So you're saying that Bruno Fernandes is a better
No, it's not who's a better leader. It's not who's a better leader.
Is a better attacking midfielder because of a previous captain?
No.
If you have to use the argument of a previous captain, that means your current captain is not.
Your Honor,
is not.
I'm a big believer that character is shown at the end of the court session. I may have interrupted, but I found my way.
This is ridiculous.
For seeing the light, because I was going to say, if you didn't pick Bruno Fernandes, the game would have been truly gone. This guy is a game changer, not just because he plays for Manchester United, but because he's become a leader. He's a sort of player that managers right now would kill to have for. Martin Ødegaard, I think he's a hell of a player. I think in terms of talent, in terms of creativity, he's one thing. But last time I checked, when we talk about impacting in the final third, Martin Ødegaard has more hair swoops than actual goals.
And now we're going
Arsenal.
off. Now we're
so
going
Bruno,
off. Okay.
You've won this one.